to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I am Kimberly Hobscheid, your host and the creator of the Facebook community Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook and join the conversation. Today, I'm going to interview Cordelia Gaffar. Cordelia is an expert on emotional wellness. Cordelia, welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe.
Hi, thank you, Kimberly. So happy to be here.
It's my pleasure to have you. So you and I met recently, and I really love the way that you show up in the world and are helping our community with emotional wellness. And I love that your heart is in the right place. Share with us a little bit about your background. How did you get involved in this? How did you get started as an expert here?
Yeah, that's a really interesting story. So like just 5 years ago, I started as a wellness coach, just like for your body, of course, right? Meal plans, exercise. But along that way, and in working with women, I found out that there was something so much deeper, and it was their emotional wellness. And it's interesting because over the years, when I jumped out of corporate and into homeschooling, I was studying a lot about emotions, but for kids, right? And it was really surprising to me to see how underdeveloped a lot of us are as adults. So about 2 years ago, I shifted into emotional wellness.
Nice. And so what do people do when they engage with you? Are they on a coaching program, or how do they work with you? How do you help people?
Yeah, so usually I have people, I help them one-on-one. That's my preference. However, lately I have been doing something that I enjoy. I didn't even know that I would enjoy it so much, which is having my Replenish Me meetups. So this gives, they're like, it's a great safe space for us to just get together as women and just be really honest with our emotions. And I really enjoy those.
Nice. So how do people know that they need you? If they're, are they frustrated? Are they struggling? Are they depressed? How do they know that they would need emotional wellness, or are they high functioning? How does it work?
Yeah, it's interesting how people happen to come to me. Usually it's someone just going through a transition. They're just like, I've been this corporate exec for like 20 years, and now I don't want to do that anymore, or my life is so blah, or I just had a divorce, or I'm going through a divorce, and I need to do things differently, right? So that's usually some kind of emotional pain, but in that process, they just want someone to tell them, first of all, it's okay, and second of all, how to do it. And when they find, what they're finding is that they're banging up against some triggers from earlier in their life, and then they just need some help to get through that.
I can testify to all of that, right? So I definitely, as my story is, I was in corporate for 17 years, 15 of them were good, 2 of them were not, right? The last 2, I shouldn't have been there. And it's just one of those things that for me, it was golden handcuffs, right? I couldn't leave. And, I was getting paid really well to do stuff I hated to do. And that was really, really hard. And, but yeah, I think transitioning, there's many times that women transition in their lives. Do you specifically work with women or anybody?
Specifically women.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's different stages where people transform as they go through life. It could be earlier on when they're just getting married, or they could be getting married later in life, or they could be getting a divorce, or they could be like really just questioning, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here on the planet?
Yeah, I tend to work with women like right between 38 to about 50-ish, like before 52. I don't know why 52 is the cutoff, but it just is.
All right, fantastic. And then, so why do people usually struggle before they get to you? What are the things that they're like, I thought I could handle this myself? Or what do you think the biggest challenges of working with a wellness coach are?
Yeah, they are used to doing what's expected and accepted. They're used to getting a personal development book, right? Because I did that. And you just read the book and you just do it, right? Except for, there's this thing called reading comprehension and this other thing called application.
Good point. So you are there to help them really go through the process, not just here's some good ideas, but taking you through, holding your hand and moving you every step of the way forward to be able to accomplish emotional wellness and get there.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any good stories that you can share with us about some clients that you've worked with that had major transformations working with you?
Yeah, she's also the reason why I do these replenishing meetups now. So I spoke at an event in the end of last year, and this is a woman who is going through a transition, like in her job. So um, leaving that job, all of a sudden she got this shoulder pain, right? And for some reason, she thought it was related to she was given, she had to leave her job basically, right? They were restructuring and she was a manager. So she was moving some boxes. She had the shoulder pain. She went to the physical therapist. And so the shoulder pain seemed to not really have anything to do with physical issues. When I started talking to her and working with her through my Replenish Me process, which is release, restructure, refresh, and rebirth. And the first step of release, we move into our bodies and just wiggle around literally and see where we're feeling our stuff. And no surprise, she felt in her shoulder and in her hips. So these are the two places where we're holding other people's burdens. And then for our hips is where we're feeling unsupported financially or emotionally or both. Anyway, so in just the release part of what we were doing, she actually, like after 8 months of physiotherapy, she no longer had her shoulder pain, and she was slowly getting rid of her hip pain. And she also understood the pattern of behavior that she was doing, that she allowed the things that happened at her job, right, to happen, and the things that she was doing in her marriage to happen. And so she left both of them, got a better job, and started her own business after working with me for 2 or 3 months.
Wow, fantastic. So she became an entrepreneur?
Yes.
I love that story. All right, fantastic. Did you say she left both of them? Did she leave her husband as well?
Yes.
Okay. And now she's in a better life and a better position?
Yes.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Sometimes those transitions do need to be made because it's really weighing you down and it's not who you're supposed to show up as in the world. And that's a great story. I'm so glad that she's better off. Very interesting how the emotional affects the physical, right? That they're just so closely connected.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so we don't realize they're literally different energy centers where we hold our emotions in our body, and our shoulders, especially for women, and our joints in particular, is where we hold resentment. So arthritis is a real thing, and over the years, if we're just a couple of things, not letting that energy move out of our body throughout the day, every day, like literally releasing our stress as we go along our day. And we're also not addressing the issue head on, right? We have a tend to power through. And this is like a common phrase. If you're someone that says, I have to power through, you probably need to work with me. This is a common phrase that I hear.
All right.
And right. So instead of powering through, you stop and you pause with that, right? It's like, okay, what's happening right now? Because our emotions, they only last about 90 seconds. And we don't ever give ourselves the time. It's like we have the tingle of anger or we have the tingle of frustration and we run the other direction. It's like, okay, it's time to go to Starbucks. Okay, let's go for a happy hour. Okay, let's spend 15 hours in the gym. No, let's not. Let's just take 90 seconds and feel that.
All right, very good. Rather than stuff those emotions. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Very good. All right. Well, I think that's probably very common, and people out there are feeling that, like they have to do it all themselves. I know that that can be a trap, especially for women, but men too, where you feel like you have to make it work. I know that that was my phrase for many, many years, and I was the person that people gave stuff to because they're like, oh, she'll get it done. She's the busiest person that gets everything done, right? And even if things weren't working, I could make it work. I knew that just by powering through, I could make things work. And it took a real shift for me just to realize that that was not getting me anywhere, or that was the hardest way to get me everywhere, right? And a better way to do that was to allow things to work and just to sit back and feel like, all right, I don't have to, this is not my job in the world to make the planet spin, right? When I go to sleep, my heart beats just fine without me trying to make it go, right?
Exactly, right?
So, so yeah, I mean, it was a real paradigm shift, and probably a crisis of faith as well, or a spiritual awakening. But then I realized, that you just have to allow some stuff to happen, and then figure out who you want to be in the world. So fantastic! I am glad you are here. If people want to work with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I would say go to my website, which is cordeliagaffar.com.
Okay.
It's my name, super easy.
Awesome.
If you'd like to give me your life story, which people do that too,
All right.
you can send me an email at hello@cordeliagaffar.com.
And that's Cordelia, Cordelia, Gaffar, Gaffar, at gmail.com.
No, it's hello@cordeliagaffar.com.
Got it. Hello at CordeliaGaffar.com. Fantastic. We'll put those in the show notes as well. All right. We are at time. So before we let you go, any final words for our crew?
Remember that you are the creator of elevated opportunity.
Beautifully said. All right, fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. We are glad that you're here with us. We have other exciting experts coming up. If you know an expert who needs to be interviewed on our show, definitely check us out and put it in the comments below. We would love to hear from amazing entrepreneurs who are showing up in a big way around the world. And join us on Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, the Facebook community. We'll see you there. Cheers.